Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll be discussing arrays and use them in programming and C language. So the basic concept of array is it's just like a list where we have multiple items, and what we can do is prepare a list, and the only thing which is different from using a variable is that once you have a list, you can define the size of the list. It can have 5 items, 10 items, and it will be reserved in memory just like a single variable, where you just get one variable and it is stored in the memory location. An array provides you list of multiple items. So basically, if your array size is 5, then 5 different locations in sequence will be reserved in the memory, and you can use one by one or however you like it. The locations start with 0 and ends at, in this case is 4, is 1 2 3 4. So a 5 size array has 5 locations starting from 0 location to the 4 location. Okay, so an array is defined as a variable that can store multiple values. For example, if you want to store 100 integers, you can create an array for it by just giving int data. Data will be the name of the array and the size 100 in square brackets. If you give this statement, then you can define an array. Now, if you look at other example, if you look at this, we can see that data type, as we just showed, int and then array name and the array size. This is the generalized syntax for declaring an array. Again, an example: float will be the data type, mark will be the name of the array, and 5 will be the size of the array. Once the array size has been defined, you cannot change the array size. You have to keep this in mind. So whenever you want to use array, you have to make sure that whatever size is required by you must be entered accordingly. You can access array elements by indices. Suppose you declare an array mark as above. This first element is mark 0, second is mark 1, and so on. So if you want to access, this is how you access array. And how to initialize an array? Simple. If you want to put some values in the array as the initialization values, just like we do in variables, you can just simply put the data type, the name of the array, the size in square bracket is equals to the numbers or data, whatever you want to put in that array. So here, if it's 19, 10, 8, 17, and 9, this means that in all, so you can see an array is a memory, as I told you earlier, is a memory location. The name mark is the array name that identifies the array, and the size is, as shown, 5 arrays have been reserved. 5 items have been reserved, and if you initialize with these values, first one will go on the top, 10 will go here, 8, 17 will go in the second last, and 9 will be the last one. So this is how it's going to be placed. Another way of doing initializing is you can just omit the size and give the values. If you give 5 values, the array created will be of 5 size, 5 elements, and if you give 10 values, then it will be created as a. So if you see here that these can be, I just rub it out, and you can see that the array has been filled with the initialization values. Okay, we can also change the values of array by using this statement, like mark is the name of the array and 2 is the location, and we want to replace at location 2. We have 8 here because the 2 is indicating the third location, is pointing to the third location. So if you put it like this, -1, so 8 will be replaced by -1. And if you want to change the value of fifth element, you can do it like this, mark 4, because 4 address is pointing to the fifth location. Okay, finally we are going to make a simple program to take 5 values from a user and store them in an array, and then print the elements stored in the array. So we are going to write this program by using the loops. So these are the libraries, include stdioh. This is the main procedure. Here you have defined the integer data type, values is the name of the array, and 5 is the size. This is the output. We are just outputting the message, and now we are starting a loop here, and it says that I is equals to 0, starting parameter. We have discussed loops earlier in the lab, and it has to go till I is less than 5, and then you have to increment it after every. So what it is doing is basically taking the input and putting in it I means if I is equals to 0, value of whatever value input by the user will be stored in first, then second, third, fourth, and fifth array. Now we just move on to display the elements of array. It is also going to be easy. Just use the loop, printing the message first, then we are using a loop here, and loop again, same loop, and just you replace scanf with printf, and the rest is the same, and return 0. The result you can see is this: enter 5 integers. User entered 1, 3, -3, 34, 0, and 3, and then again the same thing has been displayed. Thank you.